All right, everyone, we are back. We're just going to check, make sure the chat is working. Now, I was going to try doing it offline, and man, it's a lot of work to set up a whole new stream again. And no, looks like the chat is not working, so we're just going to correct that. But as long as I can get the chat working here, that's all that really matters, so I can at least get some feedback from the viewers, and then we'll continue. Try that again, and we'll put it on live chat. There we go. See if it comes up on the screen. Live, live, live. It's supposed to be live, but it's not there yet. All right, well, there it is. So there's a little bit of a delay, not too bad. All right, so anyways, where were we when we left off the video? Sorry about the technical issues. I swear it's all the electronics fault. It has nothing to do with me, the booze, the edibles, the weed. All those are in moderation, so it should be fine. All right, let's look at some of the other comments. So what did we cover in the first part? We covered the comment about the Intellivision Classic and how many it sold and how likely it did well outsell the NES Classic because it was like a dollar store item. Like, dear God, you're comparing the sales numbers between a dollar store item and a fucking major electronic. Like, I guess the NES Classic wasn't that major of electronic, but I don't think they had it for sale at any dollar stores. So anyways, yeah, but no one knows for sure because let's just bring it up to make sure we're not just talking out of our ass. We contacted the company and nobody knows. So not Pat, not Ian, not Tommy, no one knows. They said as a private company, they don't release their sales data. So you're arguing about something very arbitrary. So it's kind of funny. It kind of boils down to like the entire arguments about the Amico and Intellivision to begin with. A lot of the arguments are arbitrary that no one really knows. The only time it comes down to the libel parts of it is when you tell someone that you know their company is not going to make any sales and not to invest. Right? That's borderline when you get into libel territory. So let's bring more about information. Oh yeah, what did we cover? That Pat and Ian could not go to jail because luckily where they are, California saves their ass. They could get hundreds of millions of dollars in fines, depending how much the judge believes the sales pitch by Tommy. But if he believes Tommy's sales, like, that was another thing a lot of the people in the chat brought up. Like, let's try to find the comment in here. Something about how many viewers would it really take to shut down someone's company? Like, if your channel had 1,000 viewers and you argued in front of a judge and said that that YouTube channel shut down your company, obviously with 1,000 viewers, it's probably not going to happen. Judge is going to look at that and go, yeah, right, that's 1,000 people that you influenced. But then once you get to 10,000 viewers, then what's the judge going to say? Judge might be, 10,000 people, you're starting to borderline influence a lot of people, right? But then what happens if you bump that number up to 100,000? So now you're looking at like one of the biggest channels in the entire influencer field of that business. So it's like, yeah, now you're pushing 100,000 people that you're influencing. That's enough to like borderline bankrupt a company on like a 50-50 chance. Obviously, it's not going to 100% chance it's going to bankrupt a company. But once you start pushing that 100,000 sub mark, then you're like, holy shit, right? The judge is looking at that going, wow, that's a lot of people that you're telling not to invest in a company by libeling them, right? So the viewer brought up a good point there. Like, how many people does the channel really need? And that would all be up to the judge's discretion. I don't want to put words in the judge's mouth. Like, a judge might have a number of 1 million subs. He might look at it and say, you know what? Pat and Ian's channel, they're not even 1 million subs, so I won't do anything. But who knows? Maybe that number is 100,000 in his head. I don't even know. Each judge could be different, right? If anyone's claiming that they know what the judge is going to be doing, I highly doubt it unless they're a judge themselves. Or maybe if they're a lawyer and they've dealt with a lot of judges. But just by like looking at it, right? All right, so that was the lawsuit that would save Pat and Ian from going to jail. It would just bankrupt them financially, hypothetically, if they did get charged. Oh yeah, and that was the thing too. Could they say that Pat and Ian's comments actually bankrupted the entire company right from the beginning? I would say no, because a lot of it was like, yeah, Intellivision fucked up a lot, right? But when it comes down to that last crowdfunding campaign, the judge could look at that and be like, well, that last crowdfunding campaign was a do or die for the company. So whatever happened in that few week period was going to determine whether or not the company failed or succeeded. So then if he could say that Pat and Ian heavily influenced that last crowdfunding campaign, then he could say that that event would have affected the entire outcome of the company, right? Arguably. Now, one judge might look at it and say, you know what, that last crowdfunding campaign was just the last one, and it doesn't affect the entire company. But really, when it comes down to a last-ditch effort to save a company, right, it really is all hanging on the balance, right? How that one manages to pan out. Right, so anyone who's like No Swear Gamer, a bunch of other Amico channels, they've brought up this question. Hey Ludo, how's it going? Glad to see the chat's working. So this is one that they brought up that I thought was a very good question. Why did Intellivision have so many offices, right? Like why an office in California? Why an office in Europe? Why an office, did they have one in Dubai? I don't even know. So this defamation part, how Pat and Ian are safe in California, might answer why Intellivision actually got another office in a different area. Remember how we were talking about investment laws? It's a federal law, so it's the same no matter which state you're in. So they couldn't move their office to affect that. It wouldn't matter. But guess what happens? If they move their law office due to libel reasons, guess what happens? Let's check. So what happens if they happen to move to, let's say, Utah, for example? So if they move their office to Utah, you see where I'm going with this, right? Not to say that they're doing this maliciously. I know some people are thinking, what are the odds that Tommy's going out of his way to spite just Pat and Ian? And then Darius would say, dear God, he apparently fucked up in a controller investment pitch video just to taunt Pat and Ian. So I don't know how far he would really go, but who knows if that was even all true. But anyways, let's continue. In Utah Criminal Code, Section 404, criminal defamation. A person guilty of criminal defamation, if he communicates to any person orally or in writing to be false, and will expose any other person to public hatred, contempt, or ridicule. So basically what we've been looking at in California, except in Utah, they call it a different thing. They call it a Class B misdemeanor. So what is a Class B misdemeanor? Does anyone know? Any of the viewers? Let's go check. What's a Class B misdemeanor? I didn't know because I don't know my US law, even Canadian laws I don't know very well. So Class B misdemeanor is more serious or less severe than Class A, but more serious than Class C. For examples including harassment or possession of marijuana in 10 grams or speeding. So these are examples of a Class B misdemeanor. So it sounds a little bit more serious, right? You're looking at possession of marijuana. I don't know, in Canada that's super serious, but it doesn't sound so bad here. So let's check. What else about the misdemeanors? Excuse me. Class B misdemeanors can result in a punishment of up to 6 months in jail and for a fine of up to 15 grand. In addition, particular crime that you're accused of. And so you get jail and you're on the hook for the monetary losses for the company and their loss of reputation or restitution. So that's how I was thinking, dear God, when Intellivision moved their company to Utah, let's hope it wasn't to target Pat and Ian with jail time, right? Because it almost seems that way when you look at how the laws break down in comparison to California and Utah. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe state laws are way different from what I'm getting these from. I'm just taking them from like websites online. So if anyone wants to correct me, I'll try to acknowledge it in the chat. Oh yeah, and then some people were saying too that what are the odds that someone actually goes to court for like a libel lawsuit or something? Was like implying that that never happens. So let's just go check that out. All right, so here I checked for a company or a law firm, and they said that not only do some people actually go to court, just this one law firm alone, let's check out what they do. They litigate hundreds of defamation lawsuits in 25 states in 3 counties. So they know all about them, and the idea that libel lawsuits and stuff don't happen very often, that was something that was brought up quite a bit in the YouTube chat. I don't know, just by looking at the actual, like, from a lawyer's mouth, apparently it's very common, these libel lawsuits. That's why everyone always says allegedly. That's why you don't make videos taunting companies and, like, bad-mashing them and giving, like, investor advice, allegedly. Like, not to put words in Pat and Ian's mouth, like, arguably what they said was just all tongue-in-cheek, and they were never serious when they were telling people that the Amico would never sell and not to invest in the company. Maybe it was just a joke, right? Like, it's hard to tell with YouTubers sometimes. It would really be up to the judge's discretion. So some people brought up in the chat, the comments like, oh, would Tommy really be able to afford a lawsuit? One person could say, oh yeah, Tommy is pretty broke. He fucked over the Intellivision Amico bad. Now he's hurting for cash. Other people look at it, man, Tommy's family is some of the richest and most famous people in the country. Like literally the largest bands, the biggest movie stars. If anyone's family had money, it would be Tommy's. But yeah, it's like, it's all hypothetical there. Oh, but then the one thing that wasn't hypothetical as I looked up is I found out, here it is. There's lots of California attorneys that do the no fee. So if it's, say Pat was, or if Ian or Pat or Tommy wanted to sue each other and they needed the money badly from these lawsuits and they didn't have any to sue, they could just hire a no fee attorney. So you're not really looking at any like upfront cost. It'll be like one of those shady investment deals that Intellivision Amico allegedly got, where it's like all of a sudden they're losing all the money even if they win anything in profit. But it would be within feasible to think that, yeah, if Tommy was even flat broke, he could still sue Pat and Ian, I would guess, allegedly. So that's one of the things we covered. Is there a law for that? Yes, yes. Oh yeah, and some of the investing laws, not to just pick on Pat and Ian and everyone. Let's try to make this a little bit for the people that are pissed at the Intellivision people too. So I was looking at some of the investment fines, like what are some of the things people, investors... Oh, so this one is talking about investment fines of up to $10,000 and 5 years in prison. But what this one's also referring to is giving investment advice. So if you're not legally obligated, like under law allowed to give investment advice, then you can even get 5 years in prison for telling people to invest in stuff when you shouldn't, depending on, I guess, how this law all breaks down. So I'm not an expert on that, so if anyone's ever heard, I was thinking that's probably why a lot of YouTube channels are always like, we're not offering investment advice. I was always wondering, why did they even care to say that? It's probably because they're on the hook for like 5 years in prison, federal prison, if they start giving like unlicensed financial advice, like telling them which video game startup companies to invest in and which not to. I could be wrong or right, I don't know. That's just from the website, what is it? Some financial lawyer place. Can't pronounce it. You can read it better than I can. Alright, so what other comments did we get? Oh yeah, sadly my uncle did pass. Yeah, so thanks all the well wishes about that. Isn't it weird how some people get that, eh? Like when a relative's gonna die or something, you all of a sudden get visions or dream about them visiting. So I was upset that I never got to see my uncle before he passed, but it was nice that I at least had that dream. I know the dream scared the shit out of me and I just woke up like it was a nightmare, but still kind of felt different than a normal dream, so a little bit more special. All right, so here yeah, we covered in the video before. Luckily, one of the other viewers clarified it as well. The FTC is for the trade part of it, and the FCC is the media part of it. So I don't know, everyone keeps referring to Tommy getting in trouble with the FCC. I think what they mean is the FTC. Or I could be wrong about that. Maybe the viewers are wrong, but that's where we got to the bottom of that. No, see, people are asking what information am I suggesting Pat and Ian had? I'm not the one who was suggesting they had information. They were, right? Like on their show, when they're telling people not to invest in it. Are they implying that they have some insider trading information? Why we should invest in a company or why we shouldn't? Especially when they're saying it's not going to sell, right? And I think even in a few episodes, I could be wrong, paraphrase, but didn't they say that they were getting leaked stuff from Intellivision? So I don't know who their source is. You'd have to ask them. It's a great question. All right, so yeah, Vito's right. Bro, you don't know anything about libel laws. You got to look it up. Yeah, that's why I got all these legal documents on here. I'm looking it up. You're right. I don't know. We're just scratching the surface, just looking about it. But from what we've seen, like making fun of someone, damaging their career, bashing them maliciously, yeah, that's libel, man. Like, I don't know, what is your definition of libel? I'll be interested to hear it. We got lots of room in that YouTube comment section. Alright, so the Pong Show's on here. He's got some more comments. I didn't get a chance to like it. Thanks, man. Sorry, I'm not used to YouTube videos having so much feedback. Last time I had a video with this much is when we talked about aliens and buildings on the moon with the coach of the NBA's, or the Team USA's national team coach. That was a wild episode. If anyone wants to tune in the archive for that. Woo. You think this is weird. No, shout out to Billy Carson, man. Some people call his work weird. I know, I like it. I know the veganism stuff is a little bit hard to gather, but to each their own. Some people make it work. Hey, Steadfast, how's it going? Welcome back to the chat. Nah, I figured I wasn't really up for doing any more video game actual playing today, but we're talking video games. Hey, let's open those new Intellivision games, see which ones I got, and we'll cover some more of the information. I think we covered almost everything I wanted to on the show. So if anyone's got some more comments, questions about Intellivision or video game stuff, just let me know. Or life in general. Sorry, I am a little bit out of it for today's episode. Got some edibles in me, some weed, some mead. Oh, I almost just inhaled it there too. Woo. All right, so let's look at it. We'll bring up the game room. Hopefully the game room slide works. Fuck, I forgot to check it. Oh, fuck, man. The one camera I needed to work for today is not working. All right, so let's try unhooking it, putting it back in. Now what happens is I got a second camera and for some reason it doesn't want to work 90% of the time. I know how to fix it, but I have to fix it in a certain order, and if I forget to fix it that way, it fucks it up. There we go. We're back. We're in business. Alright, so I got myself a bag of Intellivision games. Let's see what we got. Now, I promised I wasn't going to buy any more Intellivision or video game stuff, but then I caved because I got a refund back from Walmart today that was taking like 6 months to arrive. So the Walmart refund finally came. So I'm like, hey, at least I got a little bit of extra spending money. So the first game we got is Space Armada. And it's made in the USA. Wow, or it just says USA. Holy shit, 1979, USA, Mattel. Oh man, it's dusty like hell. The guy said obviously he couldn't test these games because he didn't have the console anymore. So they might not work. Alright, the next one is Sub Hunt. And yeah, it's another 1979 Mattel. Oh, there you can see Mattel, 1979. So if anyone's wondering, did I spend a lot on these games? No. It was just a guy in my local paper. He was selling a whole bag of them for like $1 each or whatever, so it was pretty much free. I just wanted some exercise, so I walked over to his house, picked them up. Alright, the next game is skiing. And if anyone doesn't know, Intellivision would color code the games. So whatever category it was a different color. So a sports game being skiing would be blue. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's what I heard. Another one, 1979. What I found so funny about these games and what relates to today is Pat and Ian were making fun of Intellivision like it's some old obscure console no one likes anymore. Who the hell would buy it? But when I look at my local newspaper, there's people selling Intellivision games still to this day. Loads and loads, pages, even in a small city. And yeah, there's like tons of games for sale. It's a hot collector's item. People are trading it. So the idea that Intellivision is still a popular thing, you can still find them for sale today. And this one is a mystery cart. The sticker peeled off. It does say 1979. So we don't know what game this one is. It's like those blind dates you go on, right? You never know what you're getting. Holy shit, poker and blackjack. This is one I actually have the overlay card for on my shelf. I think, yeah, there it is. There's the overlay. So now I actually have the cartridge. And it says it's made in Hong Kong. Wow, so this was made in China before made in China was a thing. And it says poker and blackjack. Someone wrote it on the back. Just in case you forgot by reading the label on the front. Now this was the main game that I could see that was in it. Like they didn't show every game, so it was kind of like a mystery for some of them. But I could see Utopia was one of them. So now I actually have Utopia. This is one of my favorite games. If anyone's played Utopia before, it says 1981. The shifty-eyed dealer one. Yeah, I think that is the blackjack one. So I'm so happy I got Utopia now. Oh my god, I got a peek in the bag and I seen what game it was. I wanted it to be a surprise. No, but one of the games I didn't know what game it was. Let's show the picture. Maybe I read it wrong. I don't want to get my hopes up. So I'll bring it back for a sec. So this was the ad when I was looking in the newspaper of what type of stuff I could get. He's like, check it out and look at these games. I'm like, oh yeah, look at these games. Some of them were actually duplicates. I wasn't very impressed. But then look what I could see here. Oh fuck, it's all the wrong order. When I was looking at the bottom, I'm like, holy shit, one of the games is in a Magic game. And I'm a big fan of the Magic series games. Especially one game in particular, which I've been dying to add to my collection, which is Atlantis. So I'm like, oh fuck man, I really want to get my hands on an Atlantis cartridge. Maybe this stack of games has it. So what do you say, looking at that? It almost looks like you can make out the words Atlantis. So I was like, oh fuck, maybe it has it. So that's what I was going on. When I went to buy him from the guy's house, I didn't even ask him. I was going to ask him, what's the Magic game? But I just went and got it. I'm like, oh, we just got to see for ourselves. Could it be Atlantis? Will we find what we've been looking for? So let's dig back in the bag, see what else we got. So another one in the bag I got is Astro Smash. So Astro Smash is getting more popular in the Amico days. I think, is that one of the ones on that I got? No. Missile Command, I'm thinking. Oh, I brought it out already. It is. I got Atlantis. Holy shit, that's one of the carts. So the game I've been dying to get my whole life, I finally have it. Got it for $1. Fucking A. Yeah, can't beat that price. I should have saved that game for the end, but I gotta take a leak like crazy, so we're gonna wrap this up quick. Alright, Triple Action. We got another one. Space Armada. Actually, before we get the rest of these games, let's run my Vaporizer commercial, and then we'll check them out. We'll be right back. Sorry everyone, I thought the Vaporizer commercial would play on a loop, but for some reason it just stopped. Oh well. Alright, so yeah, we're back, and yes, we got the Intellivision actual games to check out. Let's check out, what was the last one I looked at? Space Armada. Fucking A. Now I think a lot of these games, even though I can't play them obviously on my TV with an old school console, what I will be able to do is get ROM versions if I can legally find them while owning the actual cartridge. So what else do we got? Another copy of Triple Action. So maybe I'll be able to give away some Intellivision games in the future. Oh, look at this. We got a differential. Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong screen. That's why. Now, if you check out the games here, Triple Action, what? There's two of them. They look very similar, except the only difference is the writing about where it's made. One says it's made in the USA, the other one made in Hong Kong. So that's kind of neat. I don't know, I guess, yeah, some of these cartridges were probably manufactured in North America. That's hard to believe. Oh, and here I've got another copy of Utopia, or at least it says Utopia, but the sticker under it actually says a different game. So that'd be weird, why it would say Utopia if it's a different game that it's written on. We'll have to investigate that one at some point in the future. 2 more copies of Blackjack, so we got 3 copies of Blackjack, and another copy of Astro Smash. Yeah, so we did get a couple duplicates, some made in different countries. That's kind of wild. But the main one that I think was worth the $20 investment right off the bat was I got Atlantis. Now, some people argue you can just buy this off eBay for like $5-10, cartridge only. But then you're looking at another 10 for shipping. And I got all these other games with it, and I got some exercise. Yeah, and if anyone's ever held in a Magic cartridge before, is it ever nice? It's got like a nice grain to it. A lot more colors on the label. Actual like cover art right on the cartridge. This one says, what year? 1982. Wow. So I'm not really a big fan of the actual game of Intellivision Atlantis, but I'm a big fan of Atlantis, so this is one of my new prize jewels in my collection. So wicked. All right, so thanks everyone for tuning in and all the awesome questions, comments about the Intellivision Amico stuff. Let's get back to the center screen, see if we missed any comments. Yes, I found Atlantis. How ironic is that? Worst laugh ever. Yeah, so what a wild ride. You know, that's what I was thinking. You know how not to put words in a judge's mouth, and this is a terrible thing to do because I was giving Rich at Review Tech a hard time about this, where he was talking about the different legal battles facing different employees at video game companies. Like some Activision employee was getting called out for legal stuff. And he was like already calling them out and saying, you know what, they're guilty. They're guilty. They're guilty as fuck. Shame them. Badmouth them. I was like, you know what, Rich? As much as it might look like these people at Intellivision are jackasses, we're still supposed to give them their day in court, right? Like, it's part of a human right. Like, no matter how much you think they're guilty, we're not supposed to do the mob justice and just all of a sudden call people out and like fucking attack them without their day in court, right? So I don't know. So that's what I was thinking when it comes to like, if it was a court case and I was put in the judge's position, not to take their place in court, but I think what I would be more apt to do is you got so many people that are pissed because they invested in television, they lost their money, they're mad, they want their money back. And what is it? There's people that are pissed at Pat and Ian because they fucked over a lot of people that invested by allegedly telling them not to invest in their company. That, it screwed a lot of people at tens of millions of dollars. Arguably, what they were saying was right because maybe Intellivision was a scam the whole time. We haven't found out yet, so it could be that they were right all along. But either way, the libel part of it is we don't know if it would have sold well. So I was just thinking, if I was a judge and I had to settle it for everything, I would almost force Intellivision and Pat and Ian and all the other YouTubers that got all caught up against each other in this legal battle to work together as sort of like what do they call it, probation or whatever, some sort of terms. So I'd be like, you know what, guys, you guys have been fighting. Why don't all you guys come together, make a video about the Intellivision video, about like the documentary about what happened with the whole console, how it failed, what was the whole process, even include the legal aspect, the battle of that, put it all into a movie, and then take the profits of that and give it to the people that got screwed over. Like the people that lost all their money in the investments, maybe pay them back, or at least give them a share of it so they get some sort of revenue return. And maybe even split some with Pat and Ian and be like, hey guys, you know what? You fucked up, but you did a good job on making this movie. So you know what? Maybe you guys can make some profit here too. Let Intellivision take some of the profit. Like, just try to get everyone happy. Get everyone at Intellivision happy. Get everyone Pat and Ian happy. Get all the investors happy. There's probably a way that everyone can find like some sort of happy medium in this. I know a lot of people are like, oh, just send everyone to jail. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of like the left-wing cancel culture idea, and just never forgive anyone, never try to solve anything, just put everyone in jail for the rest of their lives or cancel them. But I'm not really a big component of that way of thinking, just because I fuck up so much. So I'm always one of those people that, yeah, if it wasn't for forgiveness, I wouldn't have any friends or family left. So no, I really appreciate everyone who's like that, and they're able to turn the other cheek sometimes and put bad deeds or bad things in the past. All right, so we covered the libel, jail, yes, grabs. Did I cover that? Oh yeah, so yeah, 15 cartridges, got them all up for grabs. That was my adventure today when I went and bought the Intellivision games. You know what I was thinking too? Sometimes like peanut butter and jelly, or what's examples of things that they're so opposing that you never would have suggested that they worked so well together. What is it? Tommy and Pat and Ian, or at least Pat, have worked together on projects in the past. they did that one video about like games from the past or whatever, and people generally like that series. So I was thinking we have an example where even if Pat and Ian were forced to work with Tommy, they could probably release a pretty good console if they were forced to work together. Wouldn't it be funny if the judge is like, you know what, not only do you guys should be forced together to make a video, I should force you guys to actually release a console together. So it's like instead of Pat and Ian having to pay back all the damages and libel, they'd have to take some of their own money and put it into Intellivision. And then the judge is like, well, you know what? If they're going to put that much money, give them creative control. So it'd be like, you know what, Pat and Ian, you're forced now to repay back Intellivision, but as part of the agreement, you can take direction on the company and do whatever you want with the money for it. So it'd be like, all right, let's see what kind of console Pat and Ian could actually come out with. Would they come out with a good Intellivision? I don't know. Now, hypothetical situations, obviously no judge in his right mind would ever do such things, but but if Leland was in charge of the court system, can you imagine what it would be like? Yeah, who knows? Maybe put Saggy Melons in charge. Who doesn't want some Saggy Melons, right? Or at least someone on the campaign. All right, before any of these more edibles kick in, I should probably wrap this up. I think I'm already ranting and raving like a lunatic as it is. All right, so what else did we cover? Yeah, let's go to the sponsor message.
If you happen to get any Amico games, like Atlantis, in your vaporizer and it tastes like shit, give the show a dislike. But if it doesn't happen, you can give the show a like, really appreciate it. And I'm saying this at the wrong time.
Yeah, you know it's kicking in when. All right, let's go to the patron. I think I can do that part at least. All right, Suki, Dan, Jim, Ray, Travis, and everyone a patron. Thanks a million. Let's go to the affiliate links. No, someone was doing the sponsor message for me today, and I was like, you know what? I should really get someone in charge of doing it. The viewers are doing it better than I do now. All right, so Society 6. Finishing quick is my specialty. It's to say it comes on t-shirts and bed sheets, both popular with the ladies. It's probably because the viewers are soberer than I am. Hido TV. I'll just blame it on the booze. Right, hey, Hido TV. It'll pay you to watch videos. Swagbucks will pay you to shop. GameKit will pay you to try games. And free Bitcoin is that wallet system for crypto. If anyone wants a free wallet system and they don't even have any money for crypto, they'll give you tiny loot boxes. So you can open it, put it in. Next thing you know, you might have a penny. But anyways, yeah, if you want $10 off on the Virtual Mate sex machine, just use the coupon code LYNBS. That's LYNBSN. Just make sure you follow all your regional laws. Don't want to be getting anyone in trouble legally, especially in these legal videos. Sorry if I offended anyone. Try not to encourage anyone to start lawsuits. If anything, hopefully we can settle all this out of court before it ever reaches that point. All right, so let's go back to the main screen. Yeah, and if anyone else has got any more comments they want me to address because you weren't here to watch the video live or it got split up into 2 parts, I'll try to follow it in the chat. Hopefully I can keep up with everything. No, thanks for all the well wishes. I'm starting to feel better now. My uncle's funeral is still coming up this week. Once we get that behind me, should be doing a lot better. Hopefully I'll be able to lay off all the booze and stuff and get back on track for getting in shape in spring. So yeah. All right, so yeah, hopefully everyone else remembers that too. There's more to life than fighting about Amico. I know a lot of people, it's a do or die situation. Their whole life revolves around Intellivision news, but I know for me it's just a fun escape, and hopefully everyone else can think of it as the same. Or think about it however you want. Who all wants to be the same, right? All right, that's the edibles kicking in. All right, let's go. Let's wrap up the screen with the fire screen. All right, now we're at the right time to do that. All right, if you happen to get any Amico stuff in your vaporizer, tastes like shit, give the show a dislike. But if it doesn't happen, you can give it a like. Really appreciate it. Just make sure never buy the products from my sponsor, because it
will ruin your life. Bye for now.
See you later. I need a show producer for when I'm this wrecked. All right, bye for now, everyone. Later. Take care. Oh yeah, thanks for the awesome comments. Sorry I didn't give a shout out to all the viewers. We'll try to do it next episode. Later. Yeah, maybe I'd make a good president or what? Make me a judge? Yeah, that'd be funny. No, the worst I ever heard is someone told me I'd make a great lawyer. I was like, oh God. All right, see you everyone. Bye. Later.